Hey, everybody. This is Lisa Charles, or yes, Coach Lisa. I am so happy to be here, as I always am, with my mission movers, my mission makers, people that are making a difference in the world. And today's guest is no different. I just, I'm so happy. I just want her to, first of all, look at the background. All right, we're traveling today. We're traveling up in space. But I'm gonna go ahead and let you do your introductions. If you could just give not only your name, but also your company name and just a little sentence about what you do.
Yep. So my name is Ariana Hakman. I am the founder and COO of LunaFit. It is a health and wellness brand that encompasses a mobile app, a gym, a meal prep company, and a supplement company. So we try to hit all the points of helping people reach their health and fitness goals, but in a simple and sustainable way.
You know what I love, and you said it really very briefly about what your company does, but there's so much out there. It's like noise almost. It's can be deafening for people.
Yep.
So what would you say your approach to this issue that we're dealing with, which is this lack of wellness in the world? How is your approach unique, different? How do you show up in the world?
I think that we like to, exactly like you said, bring the noise level way down and help people focus on two things. One, why they actually want to do this. It's always more than just losing weight. There's always a much deeper why into what's made them actually, look for information and actually want to make a change. But the second is really to take all of the information out there and just break it down into, we call it like the five simple habits. And in our mobile app, it's like the five pillars of health that orbit around our moon with the theme. And just making it simple and giving them easy goals and habits to establish, and even taking those goals and habits and breaking them down one by one and saying, okay, let's focus on this one. If this is going to be a win for you, let's do this habit first, and then let's build on that. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. Health and fitness has become something that people feel like has to be perfection, but really it's progress using consistency, and that's it. It's not motivation, it's discipline. So just being able to make some small lifestyle changes makes a huge difference long term.
Well, I love it because part of what you're saying is it's in the action, it's in the doing, it's in
Yeah.
showing up for yourself. But there are a lot of people, honestly, that will say, "Oh my goodness, another plan," or, maybe they've had a lot of failure leading up to things. Um, is there anything that attracted you? I often think sometimes it's the personal stories that make people say, "Okay, but maybe this time is different." Is there anything that is your maybe this time is different kind of story that would help someone to really relate to what your approach is?
Early on, so first of all, my daughter's name is Luna. So LunaFit is a very personal brand for me. I left a career in finance to spend more time with my daughter. And the only other thing I knew how to do was help people with, working out and eating better. So that's what I leaned into. And early on, I was a personal trainer. That's what I did to make money while we were figuring out what else we were going to do with our businesses. And I had a client, she was a nurse, and she she just wanted kind of like the traditional dream. She was in her early 20s, but she'd never had a boyfriend, and she wanted a boyfriend, and she wanted to get married and have a family. And she had zero confidence, was very overweight. And so I was like, okay, I mean, can I do this? This is the test right here. And we worked together for a couple of years, and she ended up losing 150 pounds. In our journey, she met a boy, and I ended up going to their wedding, and it was a beautiful moment. She has a little girl now, and she kind of she achieved everything she was trying to achieve, and I was part of that. And really the difference in what she'd done before and what we did together was, I think, twofold. One is she got personal attention. That's honestly what most people need to keep going. There was tears and there were fights and there were, personal training when you're helping someone lose that much weight is very personal. So the name is fitting. So just having, a personal plan and personal attention. But two, it's that we used simple habits. Nurses have a very tough time being healthy. They work long shifts, sometimes they work overnights. Many times, this is, maybe taboo to say, but I worked in healthcare, and so it's true. They don't get lunch breaks. They barely have time to drink water. And so getting her to be able to eat every 3 to 4 hours consistently, we made up little tips and tricks. And on top of that, she was a vegetarian, which is very hard for me. We know the easiest way in our business to help clients lose weight is high protein, moderate carb, low fat. Fastest way to fat loss. There are many other ways to do it, but that's the fastest and to us the most sustainable way. But we had to get really creative. But I made it as simple as I could and I fit it into her lifestyle.
Well, you said a couple of things. Was one is personal, the personal touch and the simplicity of it as well. Is there, I've love interviewing business owners, and one of the things I love to figure out because everyone can relate to the ownership and the, making your dream happen as a business owner is never, I haven't met the person yet, so it's never a straight line up. There's always the ups and downs. Like, well, what is it that one, if you could tell about something that maybe was a challenge for you in your business, and then what is the sustaining point for you for making this continue?
Oh my goodness. I've had so many challenges in the business. It's hard to even just pick one. We've had bad business partners. We've had issues with the city. We got closed down for COVID. You name it. We've had some really tough breaks, and I think those are always the points where you're like, okay. I mean, I'm very hireable. I have my degree in accounting. I have an MBA. I worked in finance for 15 years. I could go out and get a job, not worry about any of this. And I think you think about those things a lot when you hit those hard points, and you're like, is this really worth it? But like I said earlier, like this brand is very personal to me. And I see my daughter a lot. She's at the gym with me. Sometimes she's in the kitchen with me. I have a flexible schedule. So it's a big point to me to remember why I did this in the first place. But two is just all of the people we've helped. And I have such a passion for really, the bigger, speaking of the background, my bigger vision is to really affect the health of the world, starting in the US first. We have a major health crisis in the United States, and I want to affect that. And I think that the number of people that we've helped realize that they can be healthy and now expanding it into that app where we can really have a much bigger reach than just our local community that we started in is something that it'd be really hard for me to walk away from.
Yeah, that's exciting. So just that actually brings me to one other question. There are a lot of people that will say, "Oh, I want this to be a global brand, or I want to do," but you have something in place to actually make that happen. So maybe you can give some voice to that as a business owner. What part of your business do you think is going to really have that reach?
Yeah, so we started with the I actually started very small doing mommy and me classes. And my original brand logo was literally a mom and a baby. But now that we've expanded into the gym and meal prep and supplements, when we were shut down for COVID, we took everything online, and it was a really eye-opening moment that we didn't have to be in person with people. I'm such an in-person person. I love to be able to touch and look in people's eyes, to work with them, but it can limit what you're trying to do. And so when we were still able to make so much progress and help so many people during COVID, and we actually had people join because they were able to do everything online, it was a really eye-opening moment to me that we could affect a much larger amount of the population. And so we started building our mobile app, and we actually just launched earlier this year. And we're seeing big growth. And the two things I keep talking about, personal and simplicity, is what we put into it. So we built all of the healthy habits and kept them very simple in there. And then you actually have an AI coach. Like you can choose me as your coach in the app, and it sounds like me, it talks like me. And you can really still feel that personal touch and get the help you need to be able to stay on track and make progress. Just like a personal trainer in your pocket.
Oh, that's it. Let's just hold on to that personal trainer in your pocket, there at any moment to give you advice or to give you encouragement. Is there something, a piece of advice that you have out there that you could share with people? I mean, and I'm gonna leave that a little open. It could be on a business standpoint or it could be on a personal standpoint. Whatever is resonating in your heart, piece of advice you would like audience to know.
I think this can apply to both. Someone early on in business said the people that are successful are just the ones that don't give up. And so I think that that's meaningful across both. That can be very meaningful in business because I find that to be true. I think a lot of business owners give up right before they're about to find that magical moment that launches them to the next trajectory because it's not for the weak at all. But I think that very much applies to what we do on a personal level too. If someone's trying to, get healthy and they have some, health and fitness goals, it really is about not giving up. If you have a bad day, you get started the next day. You don't throw in the towel. You just keep going. Consistency over time, no matter what you're doing, to me is one of the most meaningful factors of whether you'll be successful or not. It's all about consistency,
Well,
daily action.
you've been very steadfast in some of the words that I think everyone, the audience, when they listen back to this, will hear with the simplicity, with the showing up, with the taking the steps and being persistent. I would love for you to share, just in the final moments, if someone's listening to this and they say, boy, I want to find out more, or what is the best way to contact you? What is that for you?
Yeah, so our website that's across all of our brand is lunafit.com. If people are specifically looking for the app, it's lunafitapp.com. And then you can find us on social media at Lunafit Universe and so many ways to reach us because we're always trying to put out the tentacles for anyone that's interested.
Well, I thank you. I thank you really coming in and sharing so much with our audience. It's pretty incredible. I only pick people you guys know that have a passion for what they're doing and want to do something that's really going to make a difference in the world. And you definitely fall into that category. So thank you for
Well,
your
thank
time
you.
today. And
Yeah, it's been a
thank you on
pleasure.
behalf of the people you're going to be helping in the future.
Thank you.